Ah, there we go. Okay. Hey guys, it's Schweitz here, and we're with the first giveaway winner, Cameron from Emerald Street. How's it going, Cameron?
Doing fantastic, man. How are you?
Ah, man, I cannot complain.
Hell, yeah, life's good, man. Thanks for first off selecting us for this. It's an absolute honor, and I gotta put you down. It's an absolute honor, and we're so excited to be working with you.
Awesome. Yeah, we really like the music, and we really like the song that we did. Um, Couple questions I want to ask, and then I'll send the mix to you. What caught your attention about the giveaway?
So one of our old producers that we've worked with, oh no.
No, you're good.
Oh, cool, cool, cool. So one of the old producers that we worked with, he follows you, and he sent us this video that you made about announcing, the projects that you're going to be doing, and I was like, "No way." I mean, the way I saw it, I was like, "We have to enter it," because that was like a too good to be true opportunity. And so when we won it, he was like the first guy I called him like, "Dude, we did it," And so
That's awesome. That's
yeah.
amazing. So you heard about Schweitz Audio from a producer that you'd worked with before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's what we like, the word of mouth, getting everything out there.
Yeah, exactly.
When you found out you won, what went through your mind?
So I was with my keyboardist at the time, and we were working on his his solo project. And I just picked up my phone and I saw the message from you, and I was like, no, no way. I was so shocked because I mean, I definitely believe in our music, but there's so much great art out there, and I expected that there would just be a bunch of people pouncing on this opportunity. I didn't expect us to actually win, and we totally freaked out when we found out that we won. So
That's
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I think what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna send you the mix, like I said,
Oh,
and
nice.
listen to it, and we'll kind of see your reaction, and we'll talk about it and all that good stuff.
Sick. Yeah, let's do it. I'm hyped.
I just and you should have it.
Let's see.
I sent it to your management.emerald street account.
Yeah, I got you. Um, let's see. There we go. Schweitzer Jason. Cool. Let's let's listen to it. Max
Nice.
volume. Yeah, that hits. Yeah, that hits. Cool. Totally interesting take on the vocals. Something I did not expect. Really nice. Nice. Dude, I think wow, man. That was insane.
Yeah.
That's like yeah, I could never have, like, made a mix like that, like, it sounds like I mean, I was expecting it to be like I mean, I know your, like, reputation, your experience, so I knew, like, "Oh, it's gonna be super balanced and super nice," but you did a lot of things I just did not expect in a good way. Yeah, that definitely, like, went totally above and beyond my
What
expectations. It was
what kind of
fantastic.
things did I do that you weren't expecting?
I think like I think for me when I was recording the vocals right, I didn't know like if my tone and like the volume I like recorded it at and just like the whole vibe of it would like fit this song. Originally I wrote this song just like, you know, acoustic guitar, totally different rhythm, a faster like BPM. This song's like 100, it was like 140, 150, so a lot
Right, a
faster.
lot faster.
And so like that like fit the vibe right. And so when my buddy and I were like kind of, you know, he wrote our old singer Grant wrote the lyrics for this. And so like when we were going over like this version, we were super, I guess, nervous about how it would sound with like this kind of vibe and the way that you balance the vocals with like the guitars and the drums and everything, it definitely totally changed like everything that I was expecting in this song. And I love it, man. That's
Wow,
sick.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always nervous, like, when you turn in a mix because you're trying to envision someone's vision and
Yeah.
get, like, the best that you think you can get from a song, you know what I mean? So it's very
Yeah.
nerve-wracking, and I've talked to a lot of mixers, more advanced than me, less advanced than me, meaning time they've been doing it, and, I had a talk with a guy named Ed Cherney, a very famous engineer. He passed away recently, RIP, we love Ed Cherney, but
Rest in
um,
peace.
I was on the board of governors for the Grammys with him, and right before the meeting, you know, he came up. He's really super nice guy. Like he can make the whole room laugh. Like he was just that guy. He commanded the room, but just because he was so nice. And I saw him. He was like looking at his phone, a little worried. And I was like, "Hey Ed, what's going on?" He's like, "Oh, you know, turned in a mix, and now the nervous part, waiting to see if they like it. And now I'm thinking about the mix and thinking about all the things that maybe I don't like about it." And I just looked him dead in the face, and I was like, "Wait, you do that too?" He's like, "Yeah, that never goes away." And it just made me feel so much better because when I turn
Yeah.
mixes, it's nerve wracking because you know,
No,
like
yeah.
trying to make the song great. And, you know, you do it a lot, but sometimes you turn it and you're like, well, that wasn't really our vision. It's like, you know, you want to get
Hey,
this
chill.
and you want people to be happy, you know, so it's
Yeah.
awesome when you do that.
There's like meme, and it's like when the artist gets the mix from their producer, it's like, ha, time to demolish them. You know what I mean? And I totally do not feel that for this. You know, I mean, everyone has like their comments and stuff, but you know, sometimes I'll listen to a mix and be like, okay, like it's time to perform some surgery. But I mean, you killed it, man. I mean, like we talked about it earlier, and I was like, look, like you do what you want. Like you're the legend here, you know. So you if you want to do anything you want with it, go ahead. You know, I want to hear your artistic vision. I think some a big thing for me is I always thought, you know, like, oh, like this is the vision I have and this is like what I want. But when I began to just trust the artists that I work with to do like their vision, it's always made the music better. And so coming into this, like I think as a group, we were all like, let's let Jason do his thing, and we're going to be very impressed when we get to hear his artistic vision too. And we were definitely right about that. It was fantastic.
That's amazing. Have you guys ever had a record professionally mixed before?
Yeah, so we were doing stuff at Paramount Studios for a while. We were working guy with his name was Matt Antony, and he's a phenomenal like engineer, phenomenal producer. And so I mean, I think when we won this giveaway, I knew what to expect in terms of like quality because I've heard that quality before. And I mean, like y'all are definitely you can definitely tell when something is professionally mixed, and I can never tell, like it's I guess for me, it's, like, discovering how to get at that level, right? Because at the DIY level, like, we look at, like, a stock plugin, right? And we're just like, "Okay," we watch a YouTube video that goes over every single level, every single, like, piece of this, like, you know, plug-in, like, pedal on a guitar. I don't even know if I'm, like, saying it right,
Right.
but there's just I don't know if it's, like, the producer ear that, like, you guys can just hear everything, like, or if it's, like, the technology you have or, like, the access to resources that you guys have or just, like, the plain experience, but, I mean, it's for me, it's always, like, I think in my personal experiences, like, I've definitely gotten better at producing than, like, I was 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and so it's just like, dang, like, I really wanna be like Jason, I really wanna be like Matt, to just make sick fucking tracks and just, like, always impress. I'm allowed to cuss, right? Is that
Yeah.
okay? Cool,
Like,
yeah, and just, like, make sick tracks and, like, be able to just, like there's, like, with, like, DIY production, right? There's, like I don't know how to explain it. I'm terrible at explaining music, but it's, like, it's full, right? And it's like there's a wall and then there's a bunch of Play-Doh pressed up against the wall
yeah.
when really like you kind of want like the Play-Doh to be its own wall. And then there's like a bunch of space and like air in between. And like that space and air is like the drums and the bass.
Yeah.
And then like that low end, and then there's a space in the middle, and then the high end. It's kind of like you're putting frosting on like a donut. And
To
so like that, like in the DIY scene for me is like the frosting is just like there's none. Like it's just like bass guitar and drums are just like destroying each other. And so in this mix, I can definitely hear like exactly again like what awesome producers are able to do is like make that space and like
yeah.
make very impactful high end stuff like without it being like piercing. You know what I mean?
Totally. I love the way that you describe that because, like, I'm a big person. I talk about air, and
Yeah.
and when I say air, I don't mean EQ. It's not like
Yeah.
picking up 16K, but a record has an air that lives around it. That's what makes you want to get inside of it and have dimensions where, like we have a guitar over here and the drums here and the vocals, and then we have the organ. You know what I mean? You want to put them into it. And
Yeah.
I feel like if you don't have that air on top, you can't get them into the mix because it feels like you're pressing up against it, like you said, with the wall. And you want to be able to go through that wall and be in the world behind that wall. And for me, the air is like if there's no air on a record, like it doesn't matter how good everything else sounds, but if that top is just pushed down, like a heavy blanket pushing down, like the record will never expand out to me.
Yeah, it's like you want to be like at the beach with like the fresh air and the
Yeah,
waves crashing. You don't want to be in a high pressurized plane. You
yeah,
know what I
totally.
mean? Yeah,
I,
I think
I love that.
oh, thank
Yeah.
you, man. Yeah, I've been traveling a lot lately, so planes have been just like a thing for me. I don't know, man, but I think like my big thing is how do you make vocals loud without it like while also making everything else loud? And I think like in a lot of mixes, I'll listen to like my own mixes and I'll be like, dude, like this beat was sick, but now that there's vocals on it, it's just taking away from the beat, right? Or like the mix.
Yeah.
And the way that again, like you provide the air and the support, being able to make the vocals loud, but also like everything else is just so prominent. Like, especially like the ba dum bum 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 bum. And then that guitar, it's like quiet, but it's so like it's driving that, and absolutely fantastic.
But everybody just having their place to live, like I
Yeah.
think mix in a three-dimensional space. I don't think of it as being flat.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to like you need to be able to hear the organ, but the organ in the song can't be in your face because it's in your face and you're never going to hear the strumming guitar. And you're
Yeah.
not gonna hear the little guitar things that you do in the verses and stuff. And but it's like finding like where can I put the organ, and I push the organ back, widen it up a little bit, and then I can sit the guitar and the bass and your vocal up in there. And then it's also like building the mix has to have its space, and then you have to have a space that shares with the instrumentation. But for me in a mix, like there's a little bit of crossplay, but it's about melding those two universes together. Because yes, a mix is the vocals and the instrumentation, but the vocals are the highlight, and they need to be out in the forefront, but they can't be so loud. Like it happens in rough mixes a lot. Like the vocals just so loud, it just you don't get the vibe from the music at all. So it's
Yeah, absolutely.
space and putting it in and making sure all the instrumentation comes up around you and hugs up onto you. Like when I mix it, like I got all the music was sounding good. And then I put your vocals in and it was just like, it sounded good, but it was like that fight. So it was like,
Yeah,
okay, I got to lower this a little bit, do this. Oh, let me pull this. I'm going to make this guitar a little bit wider. And then I'm going to push the vocal up into it. And then you and I had a discussion where you're like, I want my vocal heard, but I don't want it to be like pop music level loud. Like you want it to be
yeah,
tucked in there. And then that really helps really gel the mix together, because then it's just like everything kind of surrounds you and it's like as though you're in the band. And that's, I want the listener to feel like that. Like I want the listener
yeah,
to feel like you.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you're in the band, you hear your voice, it's all right here, and the music is surrounding you, and that's what amps you up and gets your energy. So I want the listener to feel like that.
That's such an interesting take, like, that's just, like, where, like, just, like, the experience is just, like, overpowered, you know what I mean? Like, you're so OP, dude. Like, I would never, like, think I want the listener to think to, like, listen like they're in the band. Like, that's a viewpoint that, like, that's just genius, man.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
just
like, I
want people to feel a part of the music. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I want them to be like, "Ah, this is what it's like to be in the band. This is
yeah,
what Cameron is feeling right now." You know?
yeah,
Especially, like, at the end, you have everything going on and the guitars coming in, like, that's a hype moment, like, that's the pinnacle of the song, and I want the listener to be like, "Ah, man, I'm excited we're here. I'm so excited.
yeah.
Let's do this."
That's sick. I think there are 2 other things that just hit me just now, that I thought were really cool that you did. So the type of delay you put in to, like, the pew, pew, that synth
Hoping
on
you were
my mix.
I
Huh?
was hoping you were gonna like that.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause it's like on my mix, it's just like straight up delay, but yours is like it's I don't know how to say it's like a pulsar almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
also the way you, engineered that lead guitar part during, like, that ending, like, outro bridge part, the "I need you to see." That was sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because, when he sent me that part was like a really cool acoustic guitar, and I don't think it was an acoustic guitar, but I think it was an electric guitar with a completely clean tone.
Yeah.
We were playing that, and I was like, "I love this part, but there's so much going on that it was, like, anticlimactic." So, I reamped it with a Fender Tweed and made it that super clean, cut through it, and kinda like, I mean, it's like a Southern rock thing, really, that clean tone, it breaks up just a little bit, and I was like, "Man, I freaking love this. I so hope he likes that I did this."
I'm glad, man. I mean, if you, like, ask my bandmates, I'm pretty just, like, picky in general about a lot of things, and, I I I can't complain really, this is great. Um, so, I mean, yeah, like, phenomenal job and,
Awesome.
yeah.
Uh, how was so, I mean, we're talking about the mix, you really like the mix. How was the experience, like, from when we talked, like, working with me and and the rest of the team, the Schweitz audio team, like, how was that?
Yeah. So, for me, like, the way I kinda came in expecting it, I was like, "Okay, like, this guy has, like, years of experience, and he's mixing this song for free. So, he's probably not gonna, like, hear my bullshit, and, like, put up with, you know, what I view with the song, and then you, like, are like, "Hey, like, can I call you?" And I'm like, "You wanna talk?" Like, "You wanna call me?" Like, "Hell yeah." And, we talked for an hour, like, just about the song and just about, like, our views on music, and I thought that was such, like, a genuine moment, and I kinda knew him, like, okay, like, regardless of, like money or, like, anything, like, he's going to put, like, 1,000% effort, and last week we talked about that, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, like, you're putting in so much effort into, like, this, like, super small irrelevant band's project," and I heard you said something along the lines of, like, every project matters, you never know where something's gonna go, and, like, that you can help, like, a band, like, make a phenomenal song regardless of, like, what their status is, and I remember a couple days later, like, you came to me with questions about, like, the sounds on certain songs, and it showed that you really cared and you really like wanted to do something with this record, you know? When you're in like school, like the people that really care are willing to ask like really simple questions. You know what I
Right.
mean? And like you went down to like the most complex questions to the simplest questions, like everything, like you wanted a map. You wanted the artist, you wanted me to guide, like interestingly enough, guide you to like, you know, almost discover like what you wanted to do. And so to
Right.
the people who are like entering this competition in the future, like don't like not enter it because you think that, oh, like, Jason, he's he's this like super sick producer. He's not gonna have time for me. It's gonna take forever. Like we started like within 2 weeks of winning the contest. And within 3 days, we were talking for like an hour a day, twice a week, until like today. Um, and whether that was just like getting to know me or getting to know my band or getting to know the song, getting to know the vision, or just trying to shoot the shit, like that was that's what he's trying to do is just build a connection to be able to make something awesome, and you kind of need that. You can't just like be like, oh, here's my song, produce it. Like Jason wants to know you so that he can make something epic. And I think that us getting to know each other, we're able to build good chemistry and be able to make. He was able to make something out of my song because of the communication, the hours of just like figuring out what we want to do together. And so, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, of
Awesome. That's great. Uh,
course,
also, too, when we hang up, listen to the mix some more time, and then we'll get the
absolutely,
week. So yeah, just so everyone knows, like he just listened to it for the first time. He's gonna listen to it some more. I'm sure he'll listen on some different speakers, play it for the band, and then like I did some edits in the intro. He's gonna decide if he likes the way I chopped the intro versus the way he did it, and we talked about it, and he wanted to hear my idea, but if it comes back later and he's like, I love what you did, but I liked my way better, then we're going to switch it right back. So just so you know, like, we're not done. Like, this was his first time listening. Now we're going to do the tweaks and get the actual song done exactly the way Cameron wants it. So, yeah, like, this isn't the end. Like, we're going to talk probably 2, 3 more times and get everything tweaked up and get it exactly the way it needs to be.
yeah. It's always an exciting time being able to create with you, and I'm glad that this is kind of like now that we have a starting point, we can actually finalize this song and make it the best it can be.
Totally.
And we're
Uh,
so close too. So.
Awesome. And then, of course, would you recommend Schweitz Audio to other people after working with me?
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it be entering the competition or just like hiring him on as a producer or an engineer or whatever, I would highly recommend Schweitz Audio, um, simply because of how willing you are to just like put in the work and make epic things. Being a good producer is like that's like the basis of any good song. But Jason's not just like a good producer. He's a good producer who wants to make good music as well. And by doing that, he's going to put everything that he can um, into your record in order to make it the best it can be.
Awesome. And then we're almost done. Just one more thing for us. If you could do an artist drop, you're just going to be like, I'm Cameron with Emerald Street, and I just had my new single, name of the single, mixed by Schweitz.
Cool. Yeah, I got you.
Awesome.
So it's name, band, new single, mixed, right?
Yep.
Cool. Let's try getting this on the first try.
Yes. And action.
Hi everyone, I'm Cameron from Emerald Street, and I just had my new single, Best Friend of My Life, mixed by Schweitz Audio.
Fantastic, man. Thank you so much.
Of course, man. Thank you so much, man. I'm so glad that we got to work together. This
Yeah.
is just like, yeah, we're gonna keep
Too.
doing some dope ass
And
shit.
we'll chat about the mastering and all that too. So
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you a call on like Monday or something, man.
totally, totally.
Cool. Yeah,
Uh,
and then I'll be in England after that, so you probably won't be able to hear from me unless I can actually just like DM you on Instagram. So
yeah,
that should
totally.
be fine. But I'll give you a call Monday. Figure out a good time.
All right, perfect.
Cool, man. Thank you so much for
All
your
right,
time, and it's been
sure.
great talking to you as always.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.